In February and August 2012, 2 archaeological surveys around the eastern side of the Godthåbsfjord in the inner part of the Godthåbsfjord were carried out. The winter survey's goal was to achieve a rarely studied insight into the Norse winter landscape and related issues. How did they maintain communication and contact between Nunaudalsvåg's isolated farms eternally and with the rest of the western settlement? What opportunities and obstacles are there when speaking about winter landscapes, snow and ice? Was it the hinterland's rich hunting resources, especially reindeer, which ensured a sustainable living in this remote part of the Godthåbsfjord? Or the ice facilitating connection between the settlements, if there at all had been ice? The summer survey laid a basis for an in-depth cultural analytical understanding of the interaction between the Norse and the Thule culture and the changing environments and changing landscapes around the Godthåbsfjord. An understanding was achieved through the involvement of sources from both humanities and natural sciences. Here to mention antiquarian records of not yet examined Norse ruins in the Nunaudalsvåg region, which describe placement indicating significant landscape changes due to isostatic shifts, changing ice patterns, and terrestrial environments. This inland had never thoroughly been surveyed before, forming an understanding of the use of this area, both of the Norse and the Thule, a knowledge of these two cultures as supplementing elements cultural analytically and through the cultural landscape made it easier to understand their movement in the landscape and their use of it. Furthermore, the interaction between structures, mobility, and cultural landscape showed to be a good indicator of environments and change. This landscape archaeological survey also verified through the localities indications of ice changes due to the isostatic shifts and glacial impacts on the landscapes before and during the Little Ice Age. A broader understanding of how the landscape might have been and how the ice conditions were in the fjord when the Norse and the Thule culture settled and how they developed during their settlement was established. In addition to this, the Norse and Thule culture settlement were seen as good indicators of ice dynamics, comparing it with natural scientific reconstructions. This is why an additional knowledge from a future marine geological and oceanographic study is important, as this upcoming project will focus on. During our winter and summer survey, we also realized that Rosell's measured Norse ruin group at Umivik V15 was larger and had new structures in the same area. During our movement in the landscapes through valleys that connected the different farms, we saw fantastic grazing areas, good mobility, and connection between the farms. The use of the inland farm was also indicated by beautiful, well-preserved Norse structures. A large number of fox traps were also represented at V15. This possibly indicating an ice margin which the Thule culture used at winter to empty their traps. V13, V13A, and V14 only had a few, where there at Umivik was recorded 28 new fox traps. Furthermore, early Thule structures were found by the shore on the opposite side of the river of Umivik and inland up in the valleys, indicating that there possibly could be good hunting facilities in that area and bigger ruin groups inland related to hunting. These also mentioned in old Inuit tellings. Furthermore, at winter we also realized how the two fjord systems, the Godthåbsfjord and the Fieldwork, represented two very different fjord systems. These two fjords, even though very close to each other, have very different environments, oceanographic conditions, and marine geological settings. Godthåbsfjord is an ice fjord where 3 active glaciers terminate into the fjord, whereas Fieldwork only has river input with little seasonal sea ice cover during winter. This resulting in 2 very different living conditions in such a short distance. This new research project is based on an interdisciplinary study using both natural and social sciences to analyze and improve our understanding of long-term climate variability in Greenland. It will explore the links between variations of past sea ice, climate conditions, changing environments, and Arctic human societies. The Norse settlements in West Greenland will have its primary focus, but the study will have broader relevance for our understanding of Arctic societies under changing climate and environmental conditions. Contemporary theories of resilience will be used to define and frame the study of social economic systems. A continuous climate record covering the last 5,000 years will be constructed with a special focus on the past 1,000 years during the Norse settlement in Greenland. The investigations will be based on marine geological surveys, oceanographical surveys, studies of ice distribution, and glacial dynamics, supplemented by analysis of the cultural landscape. The data collected will summarize the changes of these parameters in order to show how environmental and climatic changes over time have affected the living conditions of the cultures settled in various parts of the fjord systems. This interdisciplinary approach will contribute to the understanding of the interaction of the biophysical environments and socio-ecological systems.